My husband teaches high school, and his current senior class has this one girl who's had a crush on him ever since freshman year. She leans over his desk when talking to him and invites him to come look for herself when she asks if she has supplies for the class. When he reported it, the school admin investigated him because they couldn't fathom a male being the victim in a sexual harassment case. But then 2 months after the school year started, Sabrina started showing at the places we were at. First, the Saturday farmers market. Mr. K, she screamed, running at us in extremely revealing clothes about my essay in reference to something he'd never assigned. Then she signed up to our gym the next week, somehow always coming at the same time as us, always needing the same machines, the same weights, accidentally spilling water on her chest in front of us. Then it was the coffee shop, bookstore, even the trail where we walk our dog. My husband showed me her emails asking where he'd be for emergency homework help. We were both completely creeped out. Our picnic at Riverside Park was for my husband's 40th birthday, was supposed to be safe. This spot was our secret, where he'd proposed, where we went every birthday. 40 minutes from town, middle of a Thursday when she should have been in school. But there she was, walking straight toward our blanket in this sundress that was way too provocative not to be accidental. I didn't tell anyone we'd be here, my husband whispered, showing me his emails immediately. She sat down uninvited on our blanket. Mr. K, I need help with my college essay. She touched his knee, but he jerked away, moved closer to me. Sabrina, this is inappropriate. You need to leave. She completely ignored him, kept talking about application deadlines while eating our strawberries. Saw the 40 candles I'd packed and giggled. Someone's birthday? I could give you a great present. She licked her lips. When we packed up to leave, she grabbed his wine glass and drank from it, leaving bright red lipstick marks. Make a wish, Mr. K, she winked. We practically ran to the car. The next morning, I found black lace underwear in his car's back seat. My husband went pale. He pulled up the dashcam footage immediately. There was some girl at 2 a.m. in a black mask, slim jimming the lock, placing them carefully where I'd see them. We went to the police, who said they'd look into it immediately. Suddenly, Sabrina vanished from school. Medical leave, the counselor said. On top of that, she also stopped showing up to the gym, stopped sending him emails about assignments. We heard nothing for over 2 months. We thought it was over. But then on a random day in February at a grocery store, I saw her. I grabbed my husband's arm and pointed at her. She had a baby bump. Small, but definitely there. She made eye contact with us, then him specifically, and blew him a kiss before placing her hand on her belly. I couldn't help but feel uneasy. Is she actually pregnant? I whispered. My husband was hesitant to respond and just moved us along. I saw her again 1 month later, and this time her bump was bigger. This time she walked past us, putting on a show as if she was mad at my husband for something. I couldn't understand. Even stranger, when she reached for cereal on a high shelf, her bump didn't move right. It was too rigid. Could her bump be fake? I asked. He didn't respond, just stared at her with his confused expression. At home, he claimed she was just mentally ill. The next day, we went to the police with everything. The dash cam, again, the stalking incidents, photos we'd taken, but they said they'd already looked into her a few months ago, and without direct threats, there was nothing they could do. By May, Sabrina looked 7 months pregnant. When the wind caught it at the Memorial Day parade, I swear I saw edges underneath, like padding, but everyone else bought it. Parents whispered, teachers avoided us. We changed everything. New gym, new stores, different routes to work. I picked him up from school every day. We were never apart. Our friends believed us once we showed them the evidence, but we were exhausted. Documenting everything. Photos, logs, witnesses, living in constant fear of what she'd claim next. We even got a lawyer who said we needed direct threats for a restraining order. The marriage counselor said we were handling it perfectly, staying united, but I could see it wearing on us. We installed cameras, started looking at houses in other districts. My husband couldn't even go to the bathroom at school alone. He'd have another teacher stand outside. Our anniversary dinner was the one thing that we were looking forward to. Fancy restaurant downtown, reservation under my maiden name. We told no one. But when we walked in, there she was, eating alone at the table next to ours. We tried to change tables, but the rest were taken. We tried to just leave, but before we could, she stood up. How could you do this to me? The couple next to us looked up from their menus. My husband froze. Sabrina, you got me pregnant and now you won't even answer my texts. Her voice carried across the entire restaurant. Conversation stopped. A waiter heading our way turned around. She clutched her enormous belly with both hands, sobbing harder. You promised you'd leave her when I turned 18. You said we'd be together. That's not true, my husband said. Everyone here needs to know that's not 9 months, she wailed. I've carried your baby for 9 months and you can't even send me a birthday card. She fumbled in her purse, then pulled out an ultrasound. Had his name written across the top in Sharpie. Our baby, due in January. The elderly couple at the next table was shaking their heads at us in disgust. We're calling the police, I announced, pulling out my phone. She stumbled toward the door, then turned back, suddenly calm. Room 237 at the Riverside Motel. Ask about last Tuesday. The next morning we sat in Detective Rivera's office showing her the 3 videos I'd taken on my phone, her pen moving fast across her notepad as she wrote down every detail about the fake ultrasound with Marcus's name in black marker. She played the restaurant footage 4 times, zooming in on the ultrasound Sabrina waved around, pausing when the Sharpie writing was clearest. Rivera pulled up Sabrina's file on her computer, adding our videos to what looked like dozens of other reports, then explained that we finally had enough for harassment charges, but the fake pregnancy claim made everything way more complicated. She assigned a patrol car to drive by our house twice each day starting immediately, which made me feel both safer and more scared at the same time. At home that afternoon, Marcus completely fell apart in our bedroom, sobbing that he couldn't teach anymore if everyone thought he was some kind of predator who got a student pregnant. I held him while his whole body shook, feeling his tears soak through my shirt as he kept saying he'd worked so hard for 15 years just to have it all destroyed by a lying teenager. The phone rang at dinner, and Principal Thornton's voice came through the speaker demanding Marcus take administrative leave immediately because 3 parents had called about the restaurant incident. Marcus tried explaining, but Thornton cut him off saying the union rep wasn't available until Monday, so he had no choice but to stay home starting tomorrow. I grabbed my laptop and posted in our neighborhood's private Facebook group asking if anyone else had been at the restaurant and witnessed what really happened. Within 2 hours, 6 different people commented that Sabrina's whole performance seemed totally fake and rehearsed, with one woman even saying she saw Sabrina checking her phone for timing right before standing up. That night, I couldn't sleep at all, getting up every 20 minutes to check the door locks, my heart racing every time a car drove past our house. Marcus pretended to be asleep, but I felt his muscles tense up whenever headlights swept across our bedroom window. At exactly 7 the next morning, someone pounded on our front door so hard the whole frame shook, and when I looked through the peephole, Laura Walsh was standing there waving papers and screaming that we'd destroyed her daughter's life. She kept yelling about stress complications and medical bills while I dialed 911, and Marcus grabbed his phone to record everything from the living room window. 2 police cars showed up within 10 minutes and gave Laura an official trespassing warning while Detective Rivera watched Marcus's recording on his phone. Rivera pointed out that Laura never actually said Sabrina was pregnant, just kept talking about complications, which could mean anything. My sister called from Chicago that afternoon, begging us to come stay with her for a while until this whole mess got sorted out. Marcus refused to leave our home of of 12 years, saying we hadn't done anything wrong and shouldn't have to run away, which turned into our first real fight since this nightmare started. Attorney Brooks reviewed our huge folder of evidence the next day, saying we had a really strong case for defamation and stalking but needed $5,000 as a retainer to get started. I emptied our entire vacation savings account right there in her office, watching 2 years of planning for Hawaii disappear into legal fees. Brooks said she'd start working on the case right away, but warned us this could take months. We left her office feeling broke, but at least like we were doing something. The next morning, we needed groceries, so we went to Walmart early to avoid crowds. Marcus was grabbing milk when 3 teenage boys walked up to us. "Hey, that's the pedo teacher!" One of them yelled loud enough for half the store to hear. The tallest one pulled out his phone and started recording while another threw a full soda can that hit Marcus in the shoulder, exploding sticky orange liquid all over his shirt. Why would Sabrina suddenly appear at their secret picnic spot 40 minutes from town on a Thursday when she should be in school? Does she have some kind of tracking on them? Security came running, but the kids had already taken off toward the exit. The manager took us to the back office where we watched the security footage showing the kids had been filming even before they approached us, like they'd planned the whole thing. We filed a police report, but the officer just shrugged and said teenagers pull pranks all the time. Back home, Marcus sat at the kitchen table with his laptop updating his resume while I tried to work from my home office. Neither of us talked about what we both knew was happening, that we might have to leave town completely and start over somewhere else. I kept checking my phone every few minutes, unable to focus on the spreadsheet in front of me.